Sometimes the hardest battles are those that happen within ourselves. These are the silent struggles that no one sees that demand our true strength. The people around us can't always help us. It's in these moments that we need to learn to be strong on our own. Inspired by Marco Aurelius' personal diaries, today I bring you 15 profound lessons that can transform your life. These reflections motivated you and kept you firm on your journey of growth. So if you're ready to discover the power of your mind and the strength that exists within you, come with me. Before you start, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to receive more content like this. Now, let's get down to business. Imagine that your mind is like a vast territory with the ability to control your emotions and actions. Marco Aurelius' first lesson reminds us that your mind must be stronger than your body and your emotions. When you learn to master your thoughts, control your reactions, and find a more positive path, it's as if, with each choice of self-control and rationality, you transform a dark night into a new morning. This is just one of the many lessons we can learn, and today we're going to explore many. One of them is your mind is stronger than your body. The human mind has immense power that goes beyond physical and emotional limitations. For Marco Aurelio, mental strength is a pillar that supports all capacity for action and transformation. You are faced with a simple decision. Wake up 30 minutes earlier to work on your goals, but your body is tired and the temptation to sleep a little longer seems irresistible. At times like these, the mind can become your greatest ally or your greatest saboteur. Marco Aurelio teaches us that to truly control our lives, we need to strengthen our minds to the point where they overcome our desires. He believed that instead of giving in to the impulses of the body and emotions, we should train the mind to act based on reason and long-term goals. This mental training involves a constant exercise in self-questioning. Will I let laziness control my day? Or am I willing to abandon my goals in exchange for momentary comfort? These questions force us to make decisions that guide us towards self-control. When you choose to act despite your tiredness, something magical happens. You realize that the force that controls your life is actually within you, not in the circumstances around you. This mental power not only helps you get up early, but also to face moments of doubt, to deal with criticism, and to persist even in the most challenging phases of life. Each time you overcome a mental barrier, your sense of purpose and self-confidence increase. This confidence becomes a cumulative force. The more you master your impulses, the stronger and happier you become. True happiness, according to Marcus Aurelius, is not in the fleeting rewards, but in the growth that comes from the ability to do what is right. Even if it is difficult, self-control is an exercise that elevates us. By training your mind to be stronger than the body and emotions, you discover an inner freedom, the freedom to consciously choose your actions and reactions. And it is in this freedom that lies the potential for a full and guided life. Thus, the mind becomes a powerful tool, and like any tool, it needs to be sharpened and strengthened daily. So the next time you face a choice, remember your true power lies in the ability to direct your thoughts to what really matters. With each conscious choice, you transform the mind into a source of strength that transcends the body and its limitations. 2. Self-respect. Self-respect is one of the most fundamental elements for building a life of integrity and authenticity. Marcus Aurelius believed that every choice we make is a brick in the construction of our character. Every decision, no matter how small it may seem, contributes to strengthening or weakening this internal structure when we choose to live according to our principles. Even if it is easier to give in to external pressure or the opinions of others, we are actually making a commitment to ourselves. This commitment is the essence of self-respect. Imagine that every choice is a test of fidelity to your values and beliefs. In moments when acting according to what you believe becomes difficult, Self-respect is the force that keeps you steadfast, choosing the easiest path, even if momentarily convenient, can lead to a type of internal conflict that erodes self-confidence and generates regret. On the other hand, choosing to follow your values, even when it is not the most popular or easy decision, builds a solid foundation of integrity and creates a sense of peace and inner strength. Practicing self-respect is a commitment. Authenticity journal Marcus Aurelius reminds us that true power lies not in the approval of others, but in the ability being true to yourself in all circumstances. When we act based on what we truly believe, we develop an inner strength that is immune to criticism and external judgment. This self-respect becomes an anchor that keeps us stable amidst the storms of life. Self-respect is also related to how we deal with our mistakes and successes. No one is perfect, and we all make mistakes. However, self-respect involves recognizing these mistakes, learning from them, and continuing to move forward without carrying the weight of regret. It's a process of accepting who we are and where we are on our journey, without trying to mold ourselves to meet the expectations of others. It takes courage to honor your values, especially when the easiest thing would be to follow the crowd. But this courage is what builds true and lasting self-esteem. Every day, with each decision that is true to your character, you strengthen your ability to face challenges with dignity and firmness. In the long run, this generates a type of inner peace that only those who live according to their principles can experience. Therefore, ask yourself before each decision, will I be proud of this in the future? Am I being true to my values? Self-respect is not only about being firm in your character, but also about being fair and understanding with yourself over time. You develop an unshakable inner strength, a security that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. And this strength is what allows you to live with peace and coherence, knowing that you are building a life based on truth and respect for yourself. 3. Independence. True independence is much more than the ability to live autonomously. It is the ability to face challenges and make decisions without depending on the approval of others. It is a state in which you feel complete and self-sufficient, guided by your own sense of purpose and integrity. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that freedom of spirit is in not allowing yourself to be controlled by the desires and expectations of others. He believed that to live fully and with dignity, it is necessary to be faithful to what we consider right, taking responsibility for our choices and their consequences. Imagine that your life is a journey, and at each step, you make choices that define your path. Being independent means walking this journey based on your own internal compass without deviating to please others or avoid judgment. This independence is not a withdrawal from the world, but a deep connection with your purpose. When you act from genuine integrity, every decision becomes a reflection of who you are and not what others expect you to be. This creates a life rich in purpose, a life in which every action is aligned with your values and goals. However, being independent does not mean being isolated or inflexible. True independence involves the ability to open yourself to the opinions and advice of others, but always filtering them through your own values. It is listening with discernment without allowing the voice of others to take control of your trajectory. This balance is what allows you to grow and learn from others, but without losing sight of your own direction. Independence also requires courage, especially in a world where social approval is often seen as a sign of success. But this is where true freedom lies, the ability to act authentically regardless of external pressures. Marcus Aurelius saw independence as the freedom to not be governed by superficial desires, fears, or the opinions of others. He believed That emotional independence is one of the greatest sources of peace and inner strength, because it frees you from the constant need for external validation. Taking responsibility for your choices is an act of independence that strengthens your character and builds a more meaningful life each time you act with integrity and make decisions based on your own principles. You reinforce this independence. This process creates a virtuous circle. With each choice aligned with your purpose, you become stronger and more confident to continue in the same direction, creating a dignified and meaningful life. Therefore, independence is not a simple choice, but a daily practice. It is the ability to listen to yourself, honor your values, and move forward with confidence, even when the path is not popular. When you choose to be independent, you are declaring that your life will be guided by your own truth. It is this truth, supported by integrity, that builds a life of purpose and achievement. 4. Learning to react. Reacting in a balanced way to criticism and hostility is a skill that few people master, but that can transform the way we relate to the world. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that external difficulties, such as the harsh words of others or the judgments of others, are inevitable. However, he also teaches us that we are not alone. I believe that choosing how we react to these situations is one of the greatest expressions of freedom and wisdom. When you consciously choose to react with calm and kindness instead of responding with aggression or resentment, you are exercising a powerful inner strength that transcends the impact of any criticism. Imagine that you are like a firm tree during a storm. Criticism is what tries to shake its branches, but its trunk, its convictions and values remains unshakable. Learning to react with balance and compassion is like strengthening the roots of this tree. Each constructive criticism you receive can become an opportunity for growth. Instead of resisting the observations, welcome them and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This exercise in humility transforms any feedback into a step towards self-development. However, not all criticism comes from a constructive place. Often the hostility of others reflects their own frustrations and insecurities. To deal with these situations, Marcus Aurelius advises us to use empathy as a shield. Seeing other people's resentment as a reflection of the challenges that the other person faces helps us not to internalize what we do not understand. This empathy allows us to see beyond criticism and understand that it often says more about the person making it than the person receiving it. True strength lies in knowing how to respond with kindness, even when the world seems to test us. When you respond with kindness, you not only preserve your inner peace, but you also disarm the other person. Instead of allowing other people's behavior to affect you, you become the master of your own emotions. By remaining calm in the midst of chaos, the practice of responding with kindness is not just a way to preserve your peace. It is an act of courage and greatness. After all, it takes more strength to remain calm and compassionate than to respond with hostility. This ability to respond with balance and empathy creates a type of peace that does not depend on circumstances. You become less vulnerable to other people's opinions and develop unshakable self-confidence, because you know that what really matters is your own integrity. So the next time you face criticism or hostility, ask yourself, does this deserve my peace? And if the answer is no, allow yourself to react with kindness and move on. True freedom lies in controlling your own reactions. By doing so, you strengthen an inner serenity that will accompany in any situation. 5. The importance of perception. The way we interpret the world around us shapes our reality, and consequently, our life experience. For the Stoics, perception is an essential filter that defines whether we will sink into frustrations or emerge strengthened by circumstances. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that by adjusting our perception, we transform even difficulties. into opportunities for growth. This ability to see beyond appearances allows us to access an inner strength that makes us resilient, even in the face of the most difficult challenges. Imagine that your mind has an internal filter that can transform negative thoughts into valuable lessons. This filter is like a lens that you consciously adjust to see the positive in each situation if you face an obstacle at work. For example, the pessimistic perception could focus on the difficulty and generate stress, but a wiser look would see this obstacle as a chance to develop skills. Overcoming limits, and perhaps even inspiring those around you, is a powerful choice that changes the impact of each situation in your life. The Stoics believe that by adjusting our perception, we can choose how to interpret what happens to us. What others see as a problem, we can see as a step towards personal growth. When you take control of this mental filter, you create a stronger and more resilient version of yourself because you stop being easily shaken. This ability to see beyond difficulties is what helps us to remain calm and confident even in the most adverse situations. The practice of adjusting your perception is also an exercise in detachment. By seeing events without judgment or expectations, you avoid the frustration that arises from trying to control what is beyond your reach. This clarity of vision allows you to react with balance, accepting events as they are and extracting the maximum possible. Learning from them is like cleaning a dusty window by removing prejudices and limiting beliefs. You begin to see reality with a clarity that brings peace. The importance of adjusting your perception does not mean ignoring problems, but rather choosing what they represent to you. Instead of seeing a difficult situation as a burden, you can interpret it as training to strengthen patience, resilience, or self-control. This change of mindset transforms the way you live and react to daily challenges, allowing you to face life with more serenity and confidence. Thus, the Stoic practice invites us to observe our thoughts and choices of perception. Constantly ask yourself, how am I interpreting this situation? What can I learn from this? When you become aware of this process, you realize that many of the problems that seemed immense are just opportunities in disguise, ready to be explored over time. This practice strengthens your mind, making you more resilient, wiser, and more capable of facing life with lightness and inner strength. 6. Do not isolate yourself from the world. Being human is essentially being part of a community. Since ancient times, the Stoics believed that we were made to live in society because it is in contact with others that we truly grow and evolve. For Marcus Aurelius, coexistence with different personalities and perspectives is not only a learning opportunity, but a necessity. Interactions help us develop empathy, patience, and understanding, fundamental qualities for those who seek a life of purpose and harmony. It is natural that at some point the actions of others hurt or disappoint us. However, distancing ourselves completely to avoid these difficult moments deprives us of one of the greatest sources of personal growth. When you choose not to isolate yourself and accept the imperfections of the people around you, develops emotional resilience that allows you to deal with difficulties without carrying grudges or resentment. This acceptance creates a foundation of inner peace that is independent of the behavior of others. Marco Aurelio teaches us that by embracing differences and accepting the flaws of others, you strengthen your ability to act with kindness, even in challenging circumstances. Instead of walking away when someone hurts you, you can use empathy to see beyond offensive behavior. Realizing that people often act badly because of their own insecurities or difficulties. With this understanding, you become more capable of reacting with compassion, which not only preserves your peace, but also contributes to a more welcoming and harmonious environment. Not isolating yourself means opening yourself up to the constant learning that coexistence provides. With every action, you have the chance to practice patience, exercising forgiveness and strengthening your ability to understand others is a daily exercise in flexibility and generosity that over time transforms you into a more balanced and conscious person. Furthermore, living in a community reminds us that we are not alone in our challenges, and that by offering support and receiving help, we find a deeper meaning in life. Mutual support is essential because we are all connected in some way. When we choose not to isolate ourselves, we are also contributing to the well-being and growth of others, creating a cycle of support and kindness that benefits everyone. So do not allow hurts or disappointments to distance you from the world. Open yourself to understanding the imperfections of others and accept the complexity of human relationships. True strength lies in remaining present, acting with kindness, and cultivating a spirit of understanding that transforms the environment around you into a lighter and more welcoming place for everyone. 7. Stop complaining and act. Complaining is a common response to frustrations and challenges, but often this attitude keeps us stuck in the problem without progress. When we spend our energy on complaints, we create a negative cycle that reinforces the feeling of helplessness and distances us from solutions. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics believed that true power lies in action, in the ability to face difficulties with a posture of resolution and transformation. Each time we choose to act instead of complaining, we are overcoming the internal barriers that limit us and moving closer to a path of growth and resilience. The difference between a stagnant life and a full life is in the mindset of action. When you choosing to act, even in small steps, creates a movement that strengthens your confidence and propels you forward. This momentum is what builds resilience, allowing you to face challenges with a clear mind and focused on what really matters. Every act of action, no matter how small, is a victory over inertia and fear. These small victories accumulate, resulting in significant progress over time. Changing the focus from complaints to actions requires an effort of self-awareness instead of giving in to discouragement and frustration. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve this situation? This type of questioning transforms an obstacle into an opportunity for growth because it directs your energy towards solutions instead of complaints. By adopting this approach, you take control of your reality, acting with integrity and proactivity. Furthermore, when you act, you not only solve problems, but also develop a mindset of self-sufficiency and responsibility. You realize that the solution is in your hands, and this perception strengthens your self-esteem and ability to deal with future challenges. The mindset of action is a posture that makes you stronger every day, promoting continuous growth and building a foundation of self-confidence. The practice of replacing complaints with actions also has a positive effect on your relationships. People who take action instead of complaining inspire and motivate others around them. This attitude of resolution and courage creates a more productive and encouraging environment where everyone feels more likely to seek solutions instead of feeding problems, instead of generating negativity. You become a source of positive energy for others. So the next time you feel like complaining, stop and ask yourself, what can I do to change this? Instead of wasting energy on what is not working, channel your effort into finding solutions. Adopting a mindset of action is what really allows you to grow, overcome limits, and stay focused on what matters. In the end, you will realize that the moments of action are the ones that really shape your life and lead you to lasting achievements. 8. Life is short. The awareness of the brevity of life is one of the greatest motivators to live with depth and meaning. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics teach us to view life as an hourglass. Each grain of sand that falls represents an instant that will never be recovered. This is a powerful invitation for us to reflect on how we are using our time. When we understand that life is finite, Each moment becomes precious, and the need to act, to make decisions with purpose, and to live with integrity becomes urgent. Imagine if today were the last day of your life. Small worries, fears, and hesitations would lose their importance, and you would focus on what really matters. It is precisely this perspective that helps us filter out distractions and concentrate our energies on what brings true value. Life is too short to be wasted on regrets and postponements. The time to act is now. Choose goals that are aligned with your values and dedicate yourself to what really makes your heart vibrate. The awareness of death, far from being a depressing thought, is an incentive for you to make more conscious choices. Remembering that our time is limited, we avoid getting lost in insignificant conflicts or trivial concerns. Instead, we seek deeper connections, experiences that add to our journey, and attitudes that leave us with a better life. A positive impact on the world and the people around us. Living with this perspective is like using a compass to guide our actions when you act. With the understanding that each day is a unique opportunity, you begin to choose what really matters: integrity, authenticity, and purpose. If there is something you want to accomplish, the time is now. If there is someone you need to forgive or reconcile with, do it today. Each choice aligned with this urgency to live intensely and authentically makes your life more meaningful. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that death should not be a reason for despair, but for reflection. Accepting finitude leads us to seek a life of quality, not just quantity. When we understand that true satisfaction comes from living fully the time we make more conscious and profound decisions, abandoning superficiality and cultivating relationships and experiences that truly elevate us. So instead of living in automatic mode, let each moment be an invitation to meaningful action. Value what you have, but above all, value who you are and how you are choosing to live. By doing this, you discover that true fulfillment is not in longevity, but in the quality with which you use each moment. In the end, life is short. Lived with purpose is much richer and more satisfying than a long life wasted on meaningless things. Choosing to do what is right. Choosing to do what is right, regardless of what others around you choose, is a demonstration of courage and integrity. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics believed that true nobility of character arises when we act based on our own values, not influenced by external pressures or the expectation of rewards. Living according to what is right is more than a gesture of kindness. It is a commitment to who we are and who we want to become. This constant choice to act with righteousness builds a solid and unshakable character. Imagine that you are in a situation where everyone around you is taking shortcuts, cheating, or opting for the easy way out. The temptation to do the same may be great. It would seem like a simpler way to achieve the same result. However, by choosing what is right, you align yourself with an inner truth, refusing to compromise your integrity in exchange for fleeting advantages. This type of strength of character does not depend on the approval or applause of others. It is a quiet force that comes from a deep loyalty to one's doing good without expecting anything in return is in itself an act of power. When we help someone or make the right choice simply because it is right, without expecting recognition or reciprocity, we are exercising what is most noble within us. This choice is the basis of a life of purpose, where each action has value in itself and not just for its results or rewards. This act of fidelity to our own character strengthens us because we know that we are guided by what we believe in and not by the rewards that may come from it. The practice of doing what is right without expecting anything in return helps us develop a rare type of freedom, the freedom of external action. When you act with kindness, truth, and justice simply because it is the right thing to do, you free your mind and heart from the expectations of others. This freedom is liberating and allows you to make decisions that are more aligned with your values. without the burden of social acceptance. Furthermore, acting based on your own values without being influenced by the behavior of others inspires those around you. Your righteousness and courage to do good, regardless of the circumstances, serve as a powerful reminder that there is always the option to choose the right thing, even if it is not. When it seems difficult, this example can influence more people than any word or advice. So the next time you face a situation that tests your integrity, remember that choosing what is right is an act of fidelity to who you are. It doesn't matter if anyone sees it or not. The real value is knowing that you were faithful to your character. In the end, this is the greatest reward, the certainty that you lived according to your principles, building a dignified life full of purpose. 10. The importance of intention. Intention is what gives direction and depth to our actions, transforming each choice into a significant step towards our purpose. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics understood that without clarity of intention, we are easily carried away by the flow of everyday life, wasting time and energy on activities and decisions that do not contribute to our fulfillment. Clarity of purpose is like a lighthouse that guides us in our daily choices, helping us avoid distractions and focus on what really matters. When you act with intention, each decision stops being a simple reaction and starts to have a purpose. Clearly, imagine, for example, that you are in a supermarket without a shopping list. Without a plan, it is easy to fill the cart with unnecessary things while the essential items are left aside. Living without intention is similar. We start to occupy ourselves with tasks and relationships that do not add anything to our purpose, leaving aside what really contributes to our well-being, and progress intention helps us prioritize what is really important, aligning our actions with our values and goals. When acting with this clarity, we experience a sense of harmony and peace, because we know that our choices are in tune with who we really are and what we want to achieve. It is as if each step fits into the right path, allowing you to move forward with security and confidence. This coherence gives us a deep sense of tranquility, since we are living an intentional life instead of reacting to chance. Acting with intention also reduces stress and anxiety because it eliminates excess choices and the feeling of always being busy without achieving anything significant. When we are clear about what we want, we can say no to distractions and focus only on the activities that really bring us closer to our goals. This focus transforms the way we spend our time, allowing us to enjoy each moment fully and consciously. In addition, intention gives us strength to face the inevitable challenges and obstacles. When we know why we are doing something, the sacrifices become greater bearable, and problems seem less threatening because we have a clear vision of what is at stake and the value of our journey. This clarity of purpose acts as a fuel, driving us forward even in the most difficult moments, reminding us that each effort is contributing to a greater goal. Therefore, acting with intention is the key to a more meaningful and aligned life. Ask yourself, what am I doing now? Is it in tune with my values and goals? By adopting this mindset, you will avoid wasting energy on unimportant issues and find more meaning and peace of mind in each choice. Remember, intention is the compass that guides your life, bringing more direction and purpose to each step. 11. Believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is the foundation of emotional independence and true self. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics understood that trust in our own choices and convictions is what allows us to live authentically without the need for external approval. When you free yourself from the need to please everyone, you start living according to your own will. Truth, strengthening an independent and determined mindset. Imagine how many times you have stopped yourself from doing something important to you because you were afraid of what others would think. This type of insecurity can paralyze us, preventing us from following the path we truly want. But by believing in yourself and valuing your own choices, you become capable of acting according to what you consider right and significant without allowing the judgment of others to influence your decisions. This is a commitment to yourself that leads to a fuller and more centered life. Self-confidence is built over time with each small decision that reflects your values and your essence. When you choose to act without worrying about the approval of others, you are reaffirming the power of your own inner voice. This process strengthens your self-esteem and generates deep peace because you know that you are being true to what you believe. It is a freedom that only those who truly trust themselves experience the freedom to live aligned with their own essence, regardless of the opinion of others. In addition, by believing in yourself, you establish healthy limits. When you respect your own choices and convictions, you learn to say no when necessary and to define what you accept or not in your life. This type of self-confidence is essential to build more authentic relationships because the people around you begin to realize that you are guided by your own truths and not by attempts to please or fit in. This commitment to yourself also makes you more resilient in the face of criticism and rejection, which are inevitable on any journey. When you know that your choices are legitimate and that your value does not depend on the recognition of others, it becomes easier to stay focused and move forward even in the midst of obstacles. Self-confidence provides an inner peace that makes you less vulnerable to praise or criticism because true validation comes from within. Therefore, believing in yourself is a choice that brings transformative power. Free yourself from the need to be accepted by everyone and trust in what you believe to be right and important. This commitment to your truth is what truly defines you and leads you to a more satisfying and purposeful life. Remember that your journey is unique, and by valuing your own choices, you develop a more focused, independent mindset, ready to face any challenge. 12 Life includes difficulties. Life is a repetitive journey of ups and downs, and accepting difficulties as a natural part of this journey is essential to finding peace and resilience. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics teach us that difficult times are not failures or deviations, but essential elements of the growth process. Instead of avoiding difficulties, they invite us to see them as opportunities for strengthening and learning. By embracing this vision, we discover the true essence of living and develop the ability to face adversity with courage and serenity. Imagine that each obstacle in your path is a stone that you can use to build a more solid foundation. When you accept that life includes moments of suffering, rejection, or loss, you stop resisting and start finding ways to transform these challenges into tools for your development. This perspective frees you from frustration and resentment because you understand that difficulties are part of the human experience and can be faced with dignity. Cultivating the strength to face obstacles is not just a matter of physical or emotional resistance. It is a practice of acceptance and wisdom. When you accept that suffering is inevitable, you begin to face it with less fear and more understanding, realizing that it does not define who you are but how you choose to react to it. This is true resilience. The ability to absorb difficulties and transform them into something that strengthens your character and expands your worldview. Life provides us with a series of good and bad experiences so that we can mold ourselves and evolve. Each difficulty faced and overcome transforms you into a more complete and empathetic person. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it is precisely in moments of greatest suffering that we discover our strength and become more capable of with the complexities of life. Accepting this truth gives us a unique freedom, the freedom to live without fearing the unexpected, to trust in our ability to adapt and find purpose, even in the most challenging circumstances. The Stoic practice of facing life with courage and balance helps us cultivate a resilience that does not depend on circumstances. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of difficulties, You begin to see each obstacle as a chance to refine your inner strength, to develop your patience and deepen your wisdom. Each challenge faced with courage reinforces your ability to deal with others, making you more prepared to face the ups and downs that life brings. Going inevitably brings us to accept difficulties, as a natural part of existence is actually an act of self-love, is a recognition that as uncomfortable as suffering may be, it is also a catalyst for growth. Instead of wasting energy fighting what cannot be changed, you find peace in embracing each phase, knowing that everything contributes to your journey. In the end, life is more meaningful when we allow ourselves to live it in all its complexity, with its pains and joys, victories and defeats. Each experience makes us stronger, more resilient, and more capable of facing whatever comes, with the certainty that you have the strength to grow in any situation. 13. Seeing things as they really are. Seeing things as they really are is a powerful practice of clarity and discernment that helps us avoid emotional traps and make decisions based on reality and not on illusions or expectations. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics believed that true wisdom lies in seeing the world without filters of idealization, accepting people and circumstances for what they are. A clear and honest vision frees us from disillusionment and allows us to live in a more conscious and authentic. Imagine that you observe a difficult situation in your personal or professional life. The natural tendency is to project our hopes, fears, or past experiences onto it, shaping what we want or fear. However, by choosing to see things as they really are without letting our emotions dominate our perception, we gain a more balanced perspective. This clarity allows us to make informed decisions and avoid impulsive reactions that can take us away from our goals. Seeing things as they really are does not mean being insensitive or cynical, but rather practicing an objectivity that values what is genuine and tangible. When we see people without illusions, accepting both their qualities and their limitations, we develop healthier and longer-lasting relationships. We stop projecting unrealistic expectations and start dealing with others in a more compassionate and understanding way, without expecting perfection or idealizing behaviors. This practice of clarity is also a protection against unnecessary externalities. When we cultivate a critical and accurate vision, we become less susceptible to manipulation or the desire to please others. We learn to filter information and opinions with discernment, accepting only what is in alignment with our values and ignoring what is not. Contributes to our growth. This critical sense is what allows us to act independently and build a life that reflects our truth and our principles. Furthermore, seeing reality without illusions helps us to stay focused on what we can control and to let go of what is beyond our reach. We often waste time and energy trying to change circumstances or people that cannot be changed. When we see things as they are, we accept what we cannot change and direct our attention and efforts to what is truly within our reach. This practical approach reduces stress and brings inner peace based on acceptance. Therefore, the habit of seeing things as they really are is a practice that brings freedom and wisdom. Each time you choose to look at reality without distortions, you strengthen your ability to live honestly and make more conscious choices. This clarity transforms the way you interact with the world, helping you to avoid frustrations and live more authentically. In the end, truth is the basis of a full life, and seeing things clearly is the key to living it with purpose and integrity. 14. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices for transforming the way we live and we see the world. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that by cultivating a sense of gratitude, we begin to value each experience, each interaction, and each person we meet on our path. This practice allows us to find happiness and satisfaction in the simplest details, leaving aside the incessant search for something more and reconnecting with the present. When you adopt gratitude as a daily habit, each day becomes an opportunity to discover beauty and learning in situations that might otherwise go unnoticed. The act of valuing your energy on moving forward and doing better. This process of getting up after each fall strengthens your confidence and helps build a mindset of continuous progress. Instead of allowing mistakes to define you, you choose to define transforming. Each failure into a step towards self-development. Getting back on track does not mean ignoring mistakes or not learning from them, but rather using each slip-up as an impetus to move forward. Learning to forgive yourself and correcting your course whenever necessary is essential to maintaining constancy in your growth. This ability to start over and correct your course is what allows us to achieve our long-term goals, even if the path is full of detours and adjustments. Therefore, practice the humility of recognizing your mistakes and the courage to get up again, regardless of how many times you need to do so. Each small advance, even if imperfect, is a valuable step in your journey. Over time, these new beginnings strengthen you and make you more prepared to face adversity, knowing that you can always get up and continue. Remember, the value of a journey is not in the absence of mistakes, but in the determination to continue learning and growing with each step. And so we conclude these 15 valuable lessons from Marcus Aurelius, a true guide to living with strength and integrity. If you really want to apply these lessons, choose one of them to start today. This transformation begins with the small actions of everyday life, and you have the power to change your trajectory if you do. If you like this content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive more insights from practical wisdom. Share it with someone who can also benefit and join us on this journey of growth. Let's take one step at a time towards a stronger and more balanced life. See you in the next video.